What's going on, G-Ballers? We have an awesome end of the year surprise coming in from Monster. This is your first time stopping by. Welcome to GBall Vision. Drop a comment below. Let me know what your carry is for today. We're going to be taking a look at the new Monster Xandros. This knife isn't available at the time of recording this, but by the time you're seeing it, they will be available. I'll have links to them down in the description and a coupon code that'll take 10% off everything on their website. I have checked out all of their knives. Although they have all been good for many reasons, this one is going to be my favorite one out of the crew so far. We are going to dive into a lot of things that I like about this knife. There are a few things that I don't really care for and I think could be better. We're going to start off with the blade here. This is the first time that they're using S90V. They are going to be running it 60 to 62. We do have a black washed modified Warncliffe style blade, a cutout, and a front / top flipper for the deployment. Monster has, at least in my experience, never had questionable action around the detent and around the pivot. It's always been very solid, and this is not going to be any different. You can thumb flick it out, reverse flick it, and all the front / top flipper things your little heart desires you can achieve with this knife now. They do have a couple of other versions. I think they're going to be dropping at least 3. I do really like this all black washed variant with the gold hardware. It is a full titanium handle, a milled tie clip, and a titanium backspacer. We'll get into a couple of specs and we'll continue on with some of the things I like and some of the things that I think could be a little better. We are looking at right at 7 3/8 overall, with 3 1/8 of cutting edge, and we'll give it 3 1/4 of total blade. We'll be able to hone in on that size very quickly with the Vosteed Raccoon, and we have the Spyderco Para 3 here on the bottom, and it's going to be directly in line with both of those. We have our 50 ways baked in GBall Vision Hank here, and we'll see what this pocket clip looks like in the pocket. That's going to look good. I like how there's a little bit poking out. It looks really clean. Love the gold hardware. The retention is going to be good to go. You have plenty of room, and the spring is really nice. Couple of the things, and one of them is going to be, I wish this was a little bigger. That's not really a knock on the design or a negative towards the design itself. I just wish it was about 8 inches, but 7.4 will, work for this design. I think it would make a great secondary size knife, in my opinion. Now, to some people, this knife is full size or large. I consider this just more of a mid-size knife, and I think it would be a great knife in that position as that kind of secondary main user to your primary. I think this would fit in very well. You're going to get a ton of edge life out of that S90V. Now we'll get the arch nemesis out here and we'll give this knife a weight check. Now I like to guess the weight here of the new knives coming into the channel, and I send out an invitation to you. Put a guess down in the comments. What do you think this weighs? I love it when you play. I'm going to give it a go here. It's actually been a couple days since I have recorded. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so I haven't guessed for just a couple of days. Perfectly centered up there. I'm going to say this it feels like it's right around 3, which is impressive. It feels pretty stout, but I'm going to say 3.2. Oh! Okay. That's pretty good. I'll take that. 88 grams and 3.1. I thought I was going to be maybe way off. Because we are looking at 3 1/4 cutting edge. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. They made it actually pretty light for the size and the material, along with that full length backspacer. That's going to add a little bit of added heft there. So for them to keep the weight at 3.1, that's pretty impressive. We'll get a couple of measurements here on our handle and blade. We'll kick off with the handle thickness, 0.49 and 12.6 millimeters. We'll go to the blade stock, 3.2 millimeters and 129 thousandths. We'll go to the behind the edge thickness here, and that's going to come in at 23 thousandths, which is very standard, 0.63 millimeters. Let's see how this thing cuts here, and I can tell you that it seems to be a good cutter. It's not like ultra thin, as you can see by the specs, right, as far as the blade stock or the behind the edge, but it came with a nice hair popping edge. Now, I've been cutting up a couple of things here today, some couple of boxes and whatnot, but as you can see, this thing has maintained a nice sharp edge. And I did do a couple of tests before on the blade before I even cut anything with this, and it was razor sharp. Really like S90V, one of my all-time favorite steels, top 5 easily. That just proves why you can really use it, depend on it. Even the working edge hangs out for a nice long while. Now, I'm not a big fan of it not having left hand option. Now, that is ultimately up to the company and or the designer behind the knife. It's a tough thing because I understand the aesthetic side, but I think time has proven, and there's designs out there that have proven this as well, that you can incorporate a really nice filler tab of some kind to really tie the show side in to the point where it looks natural. I think that I think that would do a lot better on this. That way lefties and righties can carry this as they please. Now, that's not a huge detriment to the knife. It just rolls out left-handed folks being able to carry this left-handed. The build quality is going to be superb. Monster has, since the first knife I've checked out from them, has been very good. I love the jimping. One of the other things that I don't care for is going to be that sharpening choil right there. Now, I'm no expert. I've never claimed to be, but you'll have to let me know what you think down in the comments. I think that could be a little better. I think, yeah, we could notch in our own, because this has internal stop pins, it looks like. Yeah, I think that has internal stop pins there, which is nice. Nice touch. So you could notch in your own. Either way, I mean, you'll get a couple out of it before you have an issue. But that could be a knock on this. But everything else, I like. I wish it was a little bigger. Sharpening choil could be a little better, and we could have left-hand options. I wouldn't mind, and I don't know if it's possible. It's something we have to keep in mind. It would have been cool if this was a little bit longer of a backspacer. That would have just really tied it in even more. That's getting very nitpicky, though, as far as that is concerned, and it might not have even been possible to do. So we have good access to the lock bar. Just a standard titanium frame lock that is done well. And, after the discount, not at a bad price. I think that's going to come down around $215 maybe, or something like that, $210, somewhere in that ballpark. And that's not a bad price for S90V and titanium. One thing I haven't checked is going to be the lock without you, but this does feel good. The lockup is sitting pretty at about 50% or so, and it feels good. The acoustics sound good, and it gives a nice thwack when it opens up. Let's get the spine whacker out here. Start out towards the tip. We'll give this thing a couple of taps and we'll go from there. Just a couple of light ones to get us going. Close it and check it. Give it a nice couple of taps there in the middle. Close it and check it. And a couple more. Very good. Very good. That is what we want to see right there. Plenty of room to break in. Nice, strong lockup. Haven't had an issue. I've handled 5 or 6 of their Monster branded knives, and then I've handled all of the Wixco knives and a couple different variations of various Wixco and Monster knives. So I've handled plenty of their knives to really get a good feel for them, and even their quote-unquote budget line, you know, it's 60 to 100 bucks, so, you know, take that as you will, but considerably a budget line, and superb build quality, great materials. And the recent drop from Wixco, which included a bunch of knives, that is only the tip, you know, of the iceberg coming from Wixco, I think, because they already have an established OEM process going over there. They have for many years, but now they're doing their own thing as well. So it will translate. They're doing their own thing with their own designs, and I think that's going to only get better and better. And as they figure these things out that, you know, really make sense on both sides, that is going to just drive the price down as well, because they'll have things, you know, they'll have things moving in a better or even better direction. They'll have the process and what they're, you know, everything will be a lot easier for them, and I think that'll allow them to even get their prices down a little bit more. You'll have to let me know what you think of the Xandros here, and do you feel like the price point is fair, coming in right around $220? I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to continue to see dope knife and EDC content, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll pop up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.